Shalom, shalom, Shabbat shalom for those hosts.
Shalom.
3 hours ahead on the West Coast. Shabbat, yeah, here. We're working on it. We're still going to get busy with the word of the Most High. All praise and glory to the Most High. He's worthy to be praised for everything. Just taking care of a few things here, setting up. So everybody been having a great week. Most High Spirit been rolling with you, hopefully, and turn your phone on vibrate so that we don't get all this feedback. If you can. And we're going to continue on envy and what, envy creates. A lot of times, we look at the one word, but when you envy someone or you envy something, it can create certain spirits within people. And we're going to look at different examples tonight. Maybe we'll get to it, maybe we won't, I don't know, on the time strength. So we're going to always start with Colossians 3:17.
This is Colossians chapter 3 and verse 17. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of Hamashiach Yahushua, giving thanks to Yahweh Basham Hamashiach Yahushua.
Right. So all that we say and do is going to be in the name of the Lord and Savior Hamashiach Yahushua, our big brother. We give thanks to the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, who is Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. The Most High says he's the power of Israel, and that's who Israel is, those 12 tribes. So without a shadow of a doubt, if you are part of one of those 12 tribes of Israel, that's who the Most High says he's the power of. And we give thanks to him for everything. He's worthy to be praised for everything. Real. And so we're going to continue on envy because this is it's a deadly plague, really, as it is written in the marquee, the title. It's really bad that we as a people would have envy against anyone pertaining to, our lifetime and us living in these mortal bodies and having a problem with anyone to the point where you envy them. That's a deadly plague. And it's something that if you operate in that capacity, that you're not going to make it through the kingdom, point blank, period. We don't went over many scriptures. We started at, number one, envy, go back to number one. Or you can go on my YouTube page. I know I've been through this, throughout the years. It's just that more is going to be added as we go on in the spirit from the Most High, all praise to the Most High, to add on to what has already been given. And I know I have over 10 videos on it already. I know I've done it years and years ago. So here we are again, and we're still facing the same issues. You know what I mean? Who's listening in the spirit? The Most High word don't go out void. So it's those that predominantly not here that will hear and forbear and change. That's what it's all about, y'all, changing. If you have envy in your spirit, then you got to get rid of it. That's what Amachar Shai, when he said being born again, that's what he means. To change from the way you have been in error and not operating right to the right way. And that's all it takes is just changing. You know, it's all about change. And people don't want to change, or people don't want to be put on the spotlight, you know, to change. They want to remain the same, so you can remain the same and be thrown in the lake of fire. That's simple as that. You're going to be crispy. You're going to be burnt crispy. That's simple. You got two choices that you are given, and you got to choose one out of those two choices, life or death. As simple as that. No more, no, there ain't no in between. I might, you know, maybe I might, you know, do it this day. Maybe I might do it that day, and I'm going to do it this day. Oh, no, then I go back to not doing it. No. Once you change, you remain the same. I like that. When you change, you remain the same. Sound pretty good to me, right? You don't keep switching up, because that's what you watch. That's wavering. He wants you to remain the same. That's like him calling you. Put it like this: the Most High do the calling, right? A lot of men think that they're the ones that's bringing people this way, that way. Most High do the calling. That's why it's very, you know, spiritually, as I learned, it's like, wow, you know, that's my fruit. I'm the one who brought them. No, I'm the one who brought them in. I'm the one who did this. I know. The Most High do the calling, the Mashiach Shai do the choosing. That's why many are called, but few are chosen. So you see a lot of times, you know, at least for me, I've seen a lot of people come and go in the truth. It don't matter where you at now. It don't matter where you at now. It don't matter where I'm at now. It matters when you endure and you hear 5 years from now, and you ain't really deviated. 10 years from now, if this world lasts that long, that's what matters. He that endured to the end, the same shall be saved. Because many people have come and gone. I mean, you would not even believe how powerful these people were. And they're not here now. You know, I have something to look at, you know, and all those that's been in for a long time, we have something to really, really gauge on, you know, building and building and building. And, you know, a lot of it comes from envy. What you envying someone for? If somebody coming up, they powerful, man, you should be glad. You should be happy for that. I'm happy for the brothers that's out there doing what they're doing, man. I have no ill feelings against my brothers. Why would you? You gonna envy them because they can do something better than you? All praise to the Most High, man. Show them because remember one time we were not able to read. Do y'all remember that? Oh, y'all forgot about that. Now brothers came on a high level of reading and understanding and precepting this Bible this way, that way, every way that you can think of. I just pray that they endure, you know, because I've seen it. You know, that don't mean anything. If you ain't here now, do it. You know what I mean? If they not here now, what difference do it make? You know? Look at let's look at, go to 1 Timothy, the 6th chapter. You know, left out, I want to revisit this. Go to 1 Timothy, the 6th chapter, start at verse 1.
Khan. This is the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 6 and verse 1. Let as many servants as are under the yoke count their own teachers worthy of all honor, that the name of the Most High and his doctrine be not blasphemed.
It says, let as many servants as are under the yoke count their own teachers. We don't say master, we don't say that word. We don't say M-A-S-T-E-R-S, and I'm spelling it because we're not supposed to be saying the names that go back to L-O-R-D, which is an idol, a Canaanite, 4-letter idol that goes back to B-A-A-L. And they have it in here, and most of us don't realize it. We'll come up with a way to justify it through the Greek or the Aramaic, Hebrew, any kind of way you can think of to justify it when I just told you about it's about changing. We didn't say that, you know. So we replace it with teacher because just like I'm a teacher and me teaching you is directing you in the right path, or I have to give an account to the Most High, straight up. And that ain't nothing that's going to be pleasing to me if I'm off or anybody else that's off, right? So you got to be on that. And, you know, and the servants get Isaiah 44:21, just so you know that it's not talking about any other race but the 12 tribes of Israel, the men of Israel. Let's read that. Because it said, let as many servants as are under the yoke, right? Read that.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 44 and verse 1. 1, right?
21.
21, okay. This is the book of
44.
Isaiah, chapter... Salak, what was that?
44 and 21.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 44, verse 21. Remember these, O Jacob and Israel, for thou art my servant. I have formed thee. Thou art
there it is.
my servant.
And Israel, my servant. That's all we need. Because we need, you know, when you understand, you get precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line upon line, here a little and there a little, you know. And anyone that says you have to read the whole thing in context, then you have to tell him Mashiach was shy. He have to do it. He didn't do it when he rebuked the devil. Straight up. He skipped all the first parts of the verse and came to the last verse. Last part of the verse, you know. That's what he did. So anybody that say you reading out of context in that aspect, you're going to have to deal with the Mashiach Yahushua on that, because that's what he sure did. Do I need to show you? Maybe we need to show him up. Like, you can't do it enough, because this is what Mashiach Yahushua used to rebuke the devil that most people are even talking about. How you rebuke the devil. Y'all just rolling around with him, you know, thinking that fasting and prayer is enough. No. Remember, he was fasting and prayer for 40 days and 40 nights when he turned 30 years old, going into his ministry. That's the year that you go into ministry, 30 to 50 years old. And 51 years old, then you're elder, not 50, but 51 years old. From 30 years old to 50 years old is the ministry. You can read that in Numbers, the 4th chapter in the law. So when you see, go to, let's deal with that. Matthew 4, and the devil envied the Mashiach Yahushua, so we still in the spirit. He always envied the Mashiach Yahushua. If you be the son of the Most High. Look, yeah, let's read that. Matthew 4 and 3 and 4.
Okay, I'm right here already. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 4 and verse 3. Mm-hmm. And when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the son of the Most High, command these stones be made bread.
Yeah, he envied them. If you be the son of the Most High, command these stones to be made bread. Tempting him, right? He the tempter. When you see temptation, that's him. That's the devil. That's Satan. What am I trying to tell him? He said, hey, you hungry. You know you're hungry. You've been fasting all this time. This is off and on, you know, messing with him. You know, command these stones that they be made bread. Okay, go ahead.
But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Most High.
Right. So what is he quoting from? And this is only to show you that you could just use a little of a scripture. Or you got to tell him Mashiach was shy. He's reading or he's quoting out of context, right? Go to Deuteronomy 8 and 3. And let's see if he quote the whole scripture, like y'all say in Christian insanity, religions and so forth. telling us we reading out of context when you don't even know how the Bible's written. Tell him he's wrong. That's all I'm gonna want to know. Type in the text. Masha Shai is off and doing what he did. Like y'all be saying you reading out of context. Let's see what he did. Read that.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 8 and verse 3. And he humbled thee, and suffered thee to hunger, and fed thee with manna, which thou knowest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man doeth not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Most High doeth man live.
See? Where did he quote from? Deuteronomy 83. Did he quote? And he humbled thee, and suffered thee to hunger, and fed thee with manna, which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that. Did he say all that? No. He quoted, man does not live by bread only, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Most High does man live. That's what he was quoting from. That little bit of that scripture right there. That's why you can use the little of the scripture that you need to answer anything, any question. Or you got to tell them he's off. Who's going to do that? Who's going to go? You got to go through what my child would say. Well, you going to go through the most, to what my child would say, tell you, man, you off. You should have quoted the whole scripture. Like y'all be talking about, you're reading out of context. You must know. Get Isaiah 28, 9 and 10. This is how the Bible's written. So you'll know. If you don't know, you're going to know. Because the scripture's going to answer itself. You're going to talk to you. Let it talk to you. Listen closely.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 28 and verse 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For precept
That's right.
must be upon.
In other words, you can't be no novice, no beginner in this. To really understand, this knowledge the knowledge is gathering the right information, right? Or the wrong information. Either or, the right or the wrong information. You see? On the right side or the left side information, we got to deal with, like right now, we dealing with who? The devil. Tempted on Mashiach Yahushua. So we looking at what he's doing, and we looking at what Mashiach Yahushua is doing. He's on the left side. Mashiach Yahushua is on the right side. So you got to look at both scenarios. You can't just be on one side and think that therefore you won't be able to recognize the devil when he comes smiling, styling, profiling, acting more happy and more glee, more joyful than somebody that's still on the right side. That's serious and really loving and caring. And you can't really figure it out because you normally roll with the devil. He's normal to you. Anything happens, you just naturally go to him and thinking you rolling with the most. That's a lot of people like that. Huh? A whole lot of people like that. They think they rolling with the Most High and Mashiach Yahushua, but they rolling with the devil. He come in at any time and take advantage of them and have them think wrong. That's why I say many are deceived by their own vain opinion, worthless thinking. And an evil, that's the devil, suspicious, come in and overthrow their judgment, make them make the wrong judgment. A lot of people lose behind that. People, they think they on the point. They think they pride had them. The devil had them. He's very prideful. He had them thinking wrong, man. That's why I say, hey, you can't be no baby. Who shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk. You ain't no baby. You ain't no novice in this. You ain't no beginner in this. This ain't something that you just gonna come in and you gonna learn right away. You gotta take time. There's so many topics, so many subjects. I look at people that have been in this years and years and years and say, what scriptures you have on this topic, this topic, this topic, this topic, that. This is the book of life. And they never really took the time to really, deep into this spiritually, deep into this Bible spiritually. not carnally, but spiritually. That's why I say, hey, you can't be no baby with this, man. You gotta be drawn from your mama's breast, man. When you drawn from the breast, you're able to what? Chew some meat. That's what he's talking about, man. It's hip talk. Next verse. This is how the Bible's written. Number 10.
Time. For precept must be upon precept. Precept upon precept. Line upon line. Line upon line. Here a little and there a little.
See? And that's what we just did. We dealt with the last part that Amashah Shai used against the devil. Y'all ready for that? Here a little and there a little. He used that little in Deuteronomy 83, the last sentences, the last words to rebuke the devil. Now you gonna tell him he's off? Because the first part I just showed you, he didn't even use that. He didn't say none of that. He just used that last part. Man said, I live by bread alone. By every word that proceeded out of our mouth of the Most High does man there. So that's what we got to deal with. As much as we know that comes out of the Most High's mouth is through this Bible. So we got to deal with it. Straight up. Without a shadow of a doubt. Go back to 1 Corinthians 6. So it's saying, let us many servants who are the Israelites, we define that in Isaiah 14:21, as are under the yoke, count their own teachers, but we don't deal with that M-A-S-T-E-R-S because that goes back to E-A-A-L, an idol, worthy of all honor, that the name of the Most High, and his doctrine be not blasphemed. See, you can blaspheme in looking at, and that has happened because people really go against the teachers because of the fact of they have to tell you and direct you and instruct you in a right way, or your blood is on us as teachers. That's why it's not sometimes it's like, well, it's been that way, and after so long, you kind of get used to people really pointing the finger at the teacher when I ain't writing no scripture. I ain't writing none of these scriptures. You're not going to go to Elder Priest Darwin, chapter 6, verse 3, or any other chapter and verse. I ain't writing nothing. You know what I mean? But I'll be blamed. They come at me because of the fact that I bring things out. I was telling you, reminded last night, it was a Passover. Somebody just got an attitude saying I'm talking about them. My mind was far from them. You know what I mean? Like right now, if somebody can say I'm talking about them, my mind is not on any individual right now. Period. And if I could go back so many years, maybe before you was born. How about that? I'm thinking about somebody that was before you was even thought about in your daddy's sack, huh? Now what? I'm talking about you. You know what I mean? Like, come on. As you live, you got a lot of years that you could think about. If you want to just think about some individual, well, I just tell you who it is. It don't matter to me. You know what I mean? Most I no respect to person. You got respect to all of us as a nation. Come on. Ain't no partiality in this, but I wasn't talking about nobody. I ain't really thinking about nobody personally. You know what I mean? We just dealing with what the scripture says. We're going to apply it as it applies as examples that we have to bring forth. You know what I mean? It's hit everybody. Hit me first. How many times it hit me before it hit you? And I don't want to go through it. You know what I mean? Like, you wasn't here all the time. You wasn't here and I'm going back to what? 97. You wasn't here in 1997. Between then and now, you know what I mean? A lot of things have come out, what I'm bringing out, but, don't take it personal. If you eat it, no, take it personal. But don't take it personal against me, right? Because I didn't write the scriptures. That's what I'm trying to let you know. That's right. That's right. If the shoe fit, wear it. You know what I mean? Somebody said if the shoe fit, you gotta wear it, right? You know what I mean? That's the way it is, But it says, let us many servants who are Israelites as are under the yoke count their own teachers worthy of all honor. That the name of the Most High, what must I say, and his doctrine be not blasphemed. Go ahead.
Con.
Verse 2.
And they that have believing teachers, let them not despise them, because they are brethren, but rather do them service, because they are faithful and beloved, partakers of the benefit. These things teach and exhort.
Listen. And they that have believing, faithful teachers, let them not despise them. See? Don't despise them. Because people be just envying and despising people that are teaching. Like I say, I love to see brothers, you know, especially young brothers coming up there and teaching like they teaching, man. That's inspiring, man. But y'all despise people. A lot of y'all despise other camp leaders or people that's teaching and so forth. You probably despise me. I can't really say. It's not coming to me like that. But y'all put y'all stuff on social media, hating on each other and so forth. Man, you ain't making it to the kingdom like that. You can't do that. And plus, you can do that one-on-one. Why you gonna throw your, like they say, your little nasty, dirty laundry out there for everybody to laugh at us and make mockery of us because we going back and forth with each other on social media. Come on, man. You can text someone. You can. There's no way that you could tell me that I can't reach anyone in Israel. Anyone in Israel. There's no way you can tell me they can't be reached. I know I can be reached. Hold up. Matter of fact, speaking of that, let me put keep my banner up. I ain't put my banner up. The water most high about something myself. Okay. How am I hard to reach? If they put my banner up, I'm trying to put it up now. There it is. Now, how you gonna say I'm so hard to reach? There's my number right there, right? So ain't no reason for you not to be able to contact whoever it is you want to contact. Oh, they messed with me. But you see they took it down? Okay. I'm watching y'all now. Then
It's up.
they doing all kind of crazy stuff. Nevertheless, I mean, it's there.
Yes,
You
sir.
see the banner?
I do.
Okay. So there's no reason for us not to deal with anything one-on-one. Straight up. And that's how it should be done, man. You know, Matthew 18 and 15 tell you how we're supposed to operate. 1 year old, you're younger than that, you deal it one-on-one. You take somebody with you once they don't hear you, and then that's when you can go to social media or you can go to the church. But we the church is the people. Disappearing out, scrolling around, I don't know what happened. There you go. Okay, so it said, and they that have believing, which is faithful, believing means faithful teachers, let them not despise them. Don't despise them because they are brethren. You hear that? That's that love that we're supposed to have for each other. That's the love over and over again. In many ways, you got to talk to us about caring about each other, man. Why you hate your brother? Why you envy somebody that's, man, I'm so elated, man. I feel great about, from long as I've been in this truth, to see, you know, IUIC and ISBK, GMS and GOCC, all the different camps, man, that has numerous, you know, amount of people that are learning the truth. One way or another. Why would I envy that when we started from, I know where we started from. I could get the elder to tell you where they started in the house. I got the interview of how we all started. None of them that you see was here, out here, there, out now. It was there. You understand? So why wouldn't I be happy to see my brothers building and growing? It's just not cool that, we have this division, and the division is put on social media. That ain't cool. Or talk to me. Y'all got to think about the future. For real. We brethren, we brothers. Ain't gonna be no one camp that's gonna beat 144,000. Prove that fact. Ain't gonna be no one congregation gonna beat 144,000. Show me that in the Bible. Ain't gonna be no one church, no one denomination, demon in nations. That's all that is. Demon in nations. Just move the letters over. You're gonna get demon in nations. Straight up. They got us all fooled, man. Especially our people, man. We gotta come out of that darkness, that ignorance, not knowing, Start being analytical thinkers so you can start looking at things and analyze that. It will. It said, but rather do them service. Do them service. What kind of service are you really doing to get works for the teachers that's believing teachers? Because they are faithful and beloved. Faithful and beloved. And we know to be loved, Baruch 3:36. Once again, these words are clearly defined in the Bible that only mean he's talking about us, the Israelites. Point blank. Baruch 3:36. Proves who the beloved are.
The book of Baruch, chapter 3 and verse 36. He hath found out all the way of knowledge, and hath given it unto Jacob his servant, and to Israel his beloved.
Jacob is his servant, and Israel is his beloved. The Israelites are his beloved. You see? So there it is again. So now when you see these words defined, you can't gainsay on that. Most High love us. We got to love each other. All the commandments, and you have these Christian Christianity people looking at the New Testament, looking at how much Rashad said. All the commandments are based upon how you love the Most High with all your heart, mind, and soul, and strength, and how you love thy neighbor as thyself. And it's very important to see the second commandment is just important as the first, because all the law is based upon how we love the Most High and how we love each other. So if you don't love your brother, and the Most High love him, the Most High love her, the Most High love them, and you hate them, whether your brother, sister, whatever, you ain't going to the kingdom. You have a right to avoid them, but you're not supposed to hate your brother. We not gonna be together. We ain't gonna be together like that. My shot gonna, bring us together. But at the same time, you have no reason to be hating on your brothers, man. Envying, because envy gonna lead to hate. You're gonna see that. It says, and be loved by the Most High, partakers of the benefit. These things teach and exhort. Go ahead. Verse 3.
Come. If any man teach otherwise, and consent not to wholesome words, even the words of our power, Hamashiach Yahushai, and to the doctrine which is according to righteousness, he is
right, man.
proud.
It says, if any man teach otherwise, consent not to wholesome words, even the words of our power of Mashiach Yahushai, who throughout the Bible is telling us to love each other, care about each other, love thy neighbor as thyself, and to the doctrine which is according to righteousness. So the doctrine that's according to righteousness is what? What's righteousness? We got to define these words because you're seeing it here. And you look for a word that'll find godliness, you're not going to find that. But you'll find a word that means righteousness. And that's what that means, righteousness. Godliness means righteousness. And what's righteousness? Deuteronomy 6:25. That's righteousness. And we have to keep defining these words so that you see them. And when you see them, yeah, that's Deuteronomy 6:25. That's the definition is right here. Read that.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6 and verse 25. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Most High our power, as he had commanded us.
Right. This is our righteousness, that we keep the commandments of the Most High as he has commanded us, right? So look at Leviticus 19:1 and 2. Let's look at this commandment because this is very important.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 1. And the Most High spake unto Mashah, saying, speak unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say unto them, ye shall be holy, for I, the Most High your power, am holy.
Right. So to be holy, you can't just leave it out there for anyone in their wildest dreams to define it on their own. To be holy is defined in Romans 7 and 12. And y'all notice throughout these classes, we're going over the definition over and over again until it's really part of, your understanding. It'll be implanted in your brain, your mind, that you really just look, okay, that's holy right there. That's Romans 7 and 12. The law is holy, the commandment holy, and just and good, you see? So no matter where you go, you're going to still have to go back to those laws and commandments that the Most High wrote with his finger, you see? So now he said, be holy because the Most High is holy, right? He gave us his commandments, though. He wrote those commandments himself. It didn't take no 40 days and 40 nights to write no 10 commandments. Y'all got to think. 613 commandments. You get moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, 17 laws that you have to relate to Moses, so Moses could relay them to us as the children of Israel. Okay. Look at verse 17 and 18.
And what chapter? Leviticus?
19, 17, and 18.
I'm sorry, you cut out, Zaquan. Zaquan, you cut out. Where you want me to go, you cut out.
Leviticus 19. Just stay wherever you at. If I don't tell you to go where, just stay right there. We're usually going to go in that chapter. Okay. Leviticus 19, 17, 18.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against thy children of thy people. Salah. Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Most High.
Right. So these are commandments that the Most High telling us here. In Leviticus, way back in Leviticus 19, 17, and 18, right? He said we should not hate our brother in our mind. The heart is a mind. You're supposed to be thinking about hating your brother. Thou shalt any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. You see? You sin is the breaking of the Most High's commandments. Thou shalt not avenge. Like people looking at it to the Most High. You think you can avenge worse than the Most High? Better understand the Most High. Believe you, me, the Most High will take care of business. All them want to come back this way, that way at you and this, that, just put it in the Most High's hand. Let him handle it. Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. Because that's what envy goes into. Avenging and grudging, all this stuff comes from envying someone. You know, you don't like what they're doing. You don't appreciate what they're doing. They don't accomplish something that you are envious of. You don't like it. That's why he said, against the children of your people. That's the children of Israel. But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I did a self-examination with love thy neighbor as thyself. And I start with self. You got to start with yourself. And you start with yourself, but then you go into, tearing yourself apart. That's how you humble yourself. You can't put yourself out there like you are this and everybody else look down on someone, man. And that's how you'll see if we go through this, that envying, that's what happens, And then people, they get some kind of prestige in this world. They think it tells you what's important, what's not important. I mean, they get a little prestige that so they think they all that. He gonna tell you. Don't mean nothing to the Most High. Don't mean nothing to a Mashiach the other side. And people be looking at people that don't keep the commandments of the Most High and how they feel. Who cares? You think I care about somebody that don't keep the mind that's wicked and what they think? You really think that's what you're gonna base your life on? What somebody think? They don't know you, don't know anything about you, and how they doing because of the fact of what we're gonna keep on reading and see. Their mind is like that, but our mind has to be transformed to a different mindset so that we don't be like this. Then you have those that gotta love your neighbor as yourself. Read this. Read in verse 4. Read verse 3, so you have to get the context of verse 4.
Come. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 3. Ye shall fear every man his mother and his father, and
You
keep
in
my
first
Sabbath.
We in 1 Timothy 6 and 4. 3. 1 Timothy 3 and 4. Can you hear me?
Con. This is the book of 1 Timothy.
1 Timothy
chapter
3 and 4.
It's the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 3 and verse 4. One that ruleth well his own house, having his children in subjection.
No. First Timothy, all right. First Timothy 6, the third chapter and the fourth verse.
There
The
we
first
go.
verse, third verse and the fourth verse. I'm getting tongue.
I got you.
First Timothy 6 chapter, the third verse and the fourth verse.
Con. This is the book of First Timothy, chapter 6 and verse 3. If any man teach otherwise and consent not to wholesome words, even the words of our power, Hamashiach Yahushua, and to the doctrine which is according to righteousness. He is proud,
Right.
knowing nothing, but dawdling about questions and strifes of words, whereof cometh envy, strife, railings, evil surmisings,
Surmisings.
or surmisings. Okay.
So it says, do you want to teach anything other than doctrine of Mashiach Yahushua, which is doctrine was according to the laws and the commandments of the Most High. That's why we can go back to the commandments and see what's right from wrong. You know, the laws and see what's right from wrong. That's what Mashiach Yahushua did, because that's all he had to go by was the law and the prophets. That's why I say, don't think that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. Because he was on the earth, he was given understanding of the laws and the prophets, right? So if they teach otherwise than the laws and the commandments of the Most High, it says he is proud, and he ain't humble at all, knowing nothing, but doting about questions and strifes of words, you know, using words to come back and forth with you. Well, come with envy. Envy comes in, you know, and strife, bickering, going back and forth with each other, railings, evil surmisings, you know, even suspicions and so forth. That's why I said, when you look at Ecclesiasticus 3:24, it says, for many are deceived by their own vain opinion, worthless thinking. And an evil suspicion, that's evil surmisings, evil suspicions. Is overthrown their judgment. How that evil suspicion come in? How that evil surmisings come in? Through the devil, to deceive you. And that's their whole job, is to deceive everyone. They can laugh at you when they get back home, or when they get back into their little cave or wherever they come from, hole in the ground, wherever they come from. You can laugh at your butt because he got you doing just what we're supposed to not be doing in the eyes of the Most High. He's telling us what to do. And that's why I say, hey, they're proud, they know nothing. They doting about questions and strifes of words. Well, comes envy. They envy the fact that you know what you know. You're doing whatever you do. You have whatever you have. They're not going, a lot of them, they won't even say it. But inside, these are the spirits that they're rolling with. Railings, all the time, going back and forth, arguing about something that are just so touchy. You say something, they got the nanos in people now. They just push that button. They have people doing all kind of things, man. They don't even realize it. Why you have to be detoxed by it. The spirit of the Most High. How about that detox? How about the detox of the Most High through His Spirit? Change you. And evil surmising and evil suspicions. He ain't finished yet. Go ahead. Verse 5.
Con. Perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is righteousness. From such withdraw thyself.
Yeah. Perverse disputings, of men of corrupt minds, or women of corrupt minds. But he's mainly deal with the men because the men got to get in order to get the women in order. We out of order. So that's why the women are all out of order. And as it goes from the head, it goes down, it gets worse and worse and worse. From the leaders on down, it gets worse and worse and worse. Perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds, man. Corrupt minds mean what? It's righteous to be able to just hate your brother. You don't have no reason to hate your brother. You even know each other. We just have a natural hatred for each other. Some kind of way, they look at me, I'm gonna find something wrong with this dude. They ain't gonna deal with the scriptures. They gonna deal with something. I don't look right. I said something right. My voice don't sound right. Something is wrong with me. You gotta find something wrong. What about what's right? Like I'm saying, I'm looking at what's right. We're coming together. More so than it was. Where was you at in the 90s? When you first started trying to put this out? Tell me some disputing and some kind of all the madness that they was going through just to be able to teach this truth on the street. Now you're looking at what's how we paid that way for that, man. You have to be elated, man, for this, man. Unless you got the wrong spirit. You got the wrong spirit, man. For real, for real. Perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds, man. They got corrupt minds, but y'all don't realize it because y'all minds corrupt. Corrupt, like to say birds and feathers flock together. Their minds corrupted, your mind's corrupted, so y'all hang together, man. And destitute of the truth. Destitute of the truth. We got to define the truth. Psalm 119, 142. Let's stick it together, class. That righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. There it is. You see, they destitute of the truth. We just read the truth. One truth, one law, in Leviticus 19, 1 and 2, and 17 and 18. Gotta love your brother. Love that neighbor as thyself, man. You want to make it to the kingdom? Show me where you can hate your brother. That's an Israelite. It's in this work. Do what you got to do. That's his ability. And you have a right to hate him. You got a right to avoid him, but not hate your brother. Look. Get 1 John 3 and 15 says the spirit is going that way. Because like I say, and the envy goes into hate. You envy someone, I don't understand that. I'm not there. I never envy nobody. And you shouldn't envy no one. Look at this. You got a right to hate your brother. Okay, let's read something. Yeah. 1 John 3:15. Let's see if you can hate your brother.
This is the book of 1 John, chapter 3 and verse 15. Whosoever hated his brother is a murderer. And ye know that no murderer hath eternal life abiding in him.
Man. Whoever it is, man, it don't matter, he said. Hate of his brother is a murderer. And you know that no murderer have eternal life abiding in him. But understand, y'all. Revelation 22:15. This is those that are not going to be in the kingdom without the kingdom. Revelation 22:15.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 22 and verse 15. For without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie.
Right. So you see, I'm here to show you that murderers, all you that hate your brother, you know who you are. You're going to be without the kingdom. Not only that, get Revelation 21:8. This the judgment. So hearing this, you got to change, man. You can't hate your brother after you hear this. Or tell the Most High he can't put you here. Talk to the Most High. Let's talk to the Most High. All you that say you can't, you can hate your brother. You got a right to hate him. And you're a murderer, as he just read in 1 John 3:15. And without the kingdom, gonna be murderers, gonna be those that hate their brothers and those that kill unjustly, murder their brothers unjustly. What's the judgment? Let's read it. Revelation 21:8.
The book of Revelations, chapter 21 and verse 8. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death.
See that? That's the judgment. That's why you can't be hating on your brothers, man. Can't hate on your sisters, man. Y'all can't be hating, man. And that's one thing that we have real bad. Where you look at a lot of people, they're gonna be thrown in the lake of fire. Because they are murderers. They hate their brothers, they hate their sisters. Sincerely, they really, you can see they hate their brothers, hate their sisters. It's really important, y'all. So important that we really have to do a self-examination of ourselves, you know, especially you that really, really hate your brother, man. Get Romans 12:1.
Khan. This is the book of Romans, chapter 12 and verse 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service.
Right. So he's saying, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, we the Israelite brothers, by the mercies, and you're not getting something that you deserve to get many times, man, of the Most High, that we present our bodies a living sacrifice. I mean, giving up something that we normally would do. Like we're not, you know, everybody else is getting off work and they're saying, thank God is this day. You know, that's what they say. You know, we don't call the days by the Greek god names, idol names, you know, we say first day through seventh day, you know, but they say the Greek god name. And people are called excuses. They'll have you saying whatever, man. You'll be doing whatever, following your trend. That's why I call you a bunch of robots and robotees, man. But you got to give it up, man. Say, what's your reasonable service, man? Acceptable to the Most High. What do you say? Holy. And holy is Romans 7:12. Over again, you see holy, it means the law is holy, the commandment holy, and just and good. So he's telling us how this world is. You know, a lot of people, they really with this world, man. Why verse 2 says what?
And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good
right.
and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High.
Right, man. You can't be conformed to this world. This is the sacrifice you have to make, regardless of how you have to operate, or your family, or your mate, whoever, children, whoever wants you to be conformed to this world. Fights. While they both go together. That's a sacrifice, to not be as the world. Be a part of the world, but not be of the world. It's a sacrifice. When you walk, can you illuminate it, because that light that's illuminated from you, from keeping the commandments and the laws of the Most High, among sinners, friends of publicans and sinners. You know what I mean? Like, change them up. He was that bright light. You're supposed to be that bright light, shining bright. But you ain't supposed to be conformed. They're gonna conform you, or you gonna conform them. That's why I say, be not conformed to this world. The wickedness is in this world. And the wicked people that cancel out the laws of the Most High. You ain't talking about you gonna put your mama, why you in bondage? Why you put yourself in bondage? We ain't under the law. We're in the grace. You follow them people. They supposed to tell you what you're supposed to be dealing with. Why you ain't listening to them? Open up this Bible and show you what it's talking about. Show you the way to salvation. They can't. They don't even care about that. They don't even think about that. They just go to church and they do whatever they do. And do they Hail Marys in the Catholic Church, or whatever they do in whatever religion that you dealing with. What I call it Christian insanity, because they're not keeping the commandments of the Most High. They're not teaching the laws of the Most High. That's why they're going to be the least in the kingdom of heaven. And you, whoever it is, going to be worse than them, because he said those that don't know going to be with few stripes. But those that you've been called, you hear my voice, you hear, and you've been learning, you're going to be beat with many stripes. Man, I've seen it over and over again, man. This ain't no joke, dog. Y'all been hoodwinked, ran them up. Really, really, really the real deal. This ain't like, you can think any other way, because ain't nothing more powerful than this truth, understanding what this Bible really talking about. The laws, the commandments of the Most High, doing what he say do, ain't nothing more powerful than this. Y'all been bamboozled. You've been shanghaied, all that. And ain't nothing you can do about it. It's too late. You went, all of them that ran, they got dealt with, or they're going to be dealt with. That's why I say so many people, this revolving door, and went years and years and years and years and years and years. And then I'll put you out of there. Kick them out. That's why I say it's very important, y'all. And it's hurtful because, it's like somebody dying. You know how you feel with death? That's how it is, y'all. Like I know you. Officer Maricard, the next thing you know, you out. Closer we are, you know what I mean? Next thing you know, boom, bam. That's hurtful. That's real hurtful. And that's why I said don't be conformed to this world. The world is set up to send you straight to that lake of fire with it. That we just read about. Remember all those different characters you go through each one. I'd go through each one because we're just dealing with loving thy brother as thyself. Love thy neighbor as thyself. You know what I mean? If you don't, you hate your brother, you're a murderer. That's why I just dealt with that one thing. But you look at all those different characteristics of those that are in the evil and against the Most High's rules and regulations, they're going to be burnt. They're going to be burnt crisp. That's what we just said. They're going to be thrown in the lake of fire with brimstone. That's why I say be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, the way you think, that you may prove that what is that good. That good is Romans 7 and 12. The law is holy, the commandment holy and just and good. Can't get around it. And that's in the New Testament that they're not teaching. That's why I say you could go to the New Testament wherever you want to go. It's still the same thing. You can't run from the Most High's work that he did with his finger. The laws and commandments that he wrote with his finger. You love the Most High. You just going to tell him, you ain't got to do what he say do. And in the end, you're going to say, so be it. You heard what I said. That's what that sounds like to me. He going to give you something that you don't deserve to get. That's grace. That's why I said, that you may prove what is that good, the commandments that you're doing, and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. Go back to First Timothy, 6:5. Because people think this. A lot of people think this. They think just what the scriptures say. And a lot of people believe whatever it is that they say behind what it is that scripture says. Let's read it.
Khan, this is the book of First Timothy, chapter 6 and verse 5. Perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is righteousness. From such withdraw thyself.
But see? So he didn't say hate them. He said what? Withdraw yourself from them. And this is what you're looking at. Perverse disputed of men of corrupt minds. You know, they have corrupt minds. Their minds are not looking at what's righteous. That's why it says, and destitute of the truth. Destitute of the keeping of the commandments of the Most High, keeping of the laws of the Most High, supposing that gain is righteousness, right? They think because they have something or they work like crazy to have whatever they have, they think that that's righteousness. And then people outside, I hope you that's in the truth don't think like that, because that's off. That's off. You think because somebody has gained a lot and they not dealing with the truth. You know they're not dealing with the truth. But maybe they got a lot of possessions. You know, money in the bank, they got a lot of, that's what he's talking about. They think gain is righteousness. He said, from such withdraw thyself, yourself. That's why people wonder, why are you not dealing with this way, that way? Because people think that just because they get money or they live in large this way, whatever way, that's righteousness. The Most High said what? From such withdraw yourself. That's real. What y'all think about that? I mean, he's saying get away from them people that's like that. Will you be influenced? Can you be influenced? Yeah. You see? So it's like they think that, and then you have people that, they look at opinion. I could care less about opinion of someone that's not dealing with the truth. What do the opinion mean, really? Unless it's something that they can say to me that I can add to what it is that will coincide with the truth that I can bring forth from this scripture, that scripture, whatever. But if they're not really dealing with the laws of the Most High, aren't they dealing with the devil? Talk to me. If you ain't doing what the Most High say do, aren't they dealing with the devil? Supposing that whatever they have gained in this world is righteousness. Most High bless the just and the unjust. But look, I mean, take it or leave it. Ecclesiasticus 12:6. Ecclesiasticus 12:6. For all you that think that the people that's not keeping the commandments that's coming up, and they think they might go to church, they might do whatever they do, might not even believe in the Most High, whatever. And y'all following whatever it is that they deal with. It will that they not keeping the laws and the commandments of the Most High, but their opinion means that much to you. Read that.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12 and verse 6. For the Most High hateth sinners and will repay vengeance unto the unrighteous, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment.
You hear that? Most High hateth sinners. And he gonna get them in the mighty day of their judgment, man. He gonna pay vengeance. The vengeance of the Most High, man. Shoot. That's Hebrews 10:31. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power, man. Don't fall. That's why I say you gotta be conformed from this world, man. You know, you can't be like that. You cannot be like the world. That's how the world thinks. You know, you hear people that talk about the world. I mean, where they going? They should be able to lead you, the ones you believe in the world, and what the worldly people say, they should be able to help you to get to the kingdom with their money. Because people say, we ain't going to be saved with no money. Believe this, y'all. Ecclesiastes 14 and verse 3. Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, verse 14 and 3. Let's try and get more scriptures out. And Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome.
Shabbat Shalom.
Messiah, we see another day closer to the we able to have our right mind.
Now,
come.
You ready?
Tell me that. Show us. I tell you that. Read this out.
This is the book of
Ecclesiasticus 14, chapter verse 3.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 14 and verse 3. Riches are not comely for a niggard. And what should an envious man do with money?
What's that said? Y'all ready for that? Riches are not comely. It ain't, for a nigger. A nigger. And what should an envious man do with money? You gonna mess it up. I mean, because you're already not rolling with the Most High. That's a fact. Once you envious of somebody or what somebody's dealing with, you ain't rolling. You're departed from the Most High, because with envy, you already said they're proud. Your pride gonna come in, and that's hateful before the Most High. That's when you depart from the Most High. You ain't rolling with him no more. You rolling with the devil. Verse 8.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 14, verse 8. The envious man hath a wicked eye. He turneth away his face and despiseth man.
Yeah. The envious man has a wicked eye, man. And ain't no wicked person going into the kingdom, man. What that's at? What verse is that? What chapter and verse is that? You see what it say? The envious man has a wicked eye. He turned away his face and despises men. Man, you find these people that hate everybody, they hate on each other, they despise. I mean, they envy someone and it turns to hate. They have an evil eye toward their brother. You see? Ecclesiastes 18 and 18.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 18 and verse 18. A fool will upbraid churlishly, and a gift of the envious consumeth the eyes.
Right, man. A fool will upbraid churlishly, and a gift of the envious consumeth the eyes, man. This dude is envy. And when you look at, he gives you something, man, but he's envy. See, the thing about it is, it's never let go. That's what you gotta understand. It's never let go. It's not like, that's why when you go back and look at all these verses that we're looking at and dealing with this particular subject matter, you'll see that these people that are envious, they're envious, and it's never let go. It's always there. You know, that's why my show says you got out against any when you pray, you gotta let it go. Mark 11, 25, 26, man. For the Most High gonna remember your trespass. Your day of atonement ain't been nothing, man, nothing. You realize the Most High say, hey, you don't bring all everything that you done wrong back into your face, man, to your fold. If you sitting there envious of somebody, you ain't envious of nobody and you don't dislike them. Something's wrong with you for envying someone. For what? Nobody commenting about you that envy somebody. Justify it. Talk to me about it. Justify your means of envying your brother. Because it goes into covetousness. And eventually gonna go to hate. And you still have that envy when you praying your prayers to the Most High. He ain't hearing that. He looking at everything you've done wrong. He said, Most High hate the sinner. You hear what he just said? And he was preserving them for the day of the judgment, for the vengeance of the Most High. Well, you got to change. You know, a lot of y'all gonna be out of here because you know it's pricking your spirit. Because you envy someone. And envy gonna eventually be hate. You're gonna hate your brother. Ecclesiastes 20 and 14.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 20 and verse 14. The gift of a fool shall do thee no good when thou hast it, neither yet of the envious for his necessity, for he looketh to receive many things for one.
The gift of a fool shall do thee no good when thou hast it. You got it from a fool. Ain't gonna do you no good because that fool gonna start acting. You gonna have a way to be able to deal with you foolishly. Neither yet are the envious for his necessity. You give an envious man, he needs something. That's why people just be giving to anyone. You gotta know who you give something to, because you say you give it to this envious man. A lot of people, they hate you for being able to help them because they can't help themselves. Y'all understand that? That's a fool. You try to help them and they hate you because they can't help themselves for being able to help them. And it's real. The gift of a fool shall do thee no good when thou hast it. Neither yet of the envious for his necessity. You give an envious man something because you see he needs something. And you give it to him, for he looketh to receive many things for one. That ain't enough. I want more. You gave him one thing, but he want many, more. Give me some more. Give me some more. Like a dang on stray cat or stray animal, you feed them and they come back for more. But their mind is envious. They might not even say thank you. Look at this, verse 15.
Ecclesiasticus, chapter 20 and verse 15. He giveth little and upbraideth much. He openeth his mouth, like a crier. Today he lendeth, and tomorrow will he ask it again. Such an one is to be hated of the Most High and man.
See that? It says, he giveth little and upbraideth much. You don't give nothing, but you want a lot. out of giving nothing. He opened his mouth like a crier. Oh, today he lendeth, he might lend you something. And tomorrow, will he ask it again? You know what I gave you yesterday, man, you give it back to me. You know, I need that. You know, people like that. They lend you something, you got a pack with them, you're going to give it back this time. They come back before the time. Next day, you go, hey, man, I get that back, man. You know, tomorrow you're going to ask it back again. Such a one is to be hated. You hear that? Such a one is to be hated of the Most High and man. You see that? These are the responsibilities that we have, and looking at what the scriptures say to change. I will say you can't be like the world. You can't be like how you are. You got to change. Look at what it says. So, man, I can't be like that no more. That's why you have to know these scriptures, man, and live them, learn them, live and apply them in your life. Ecclesiastes 37 and 11. Ecclesiastes 37 and 11.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 37 and verse 11. Neither consult with a woman touching her of whom she is jealous, neither with a coward in matters of war, nor with a merchant concerning exchange, nor with a buyer, nor with a buyer of selling, nor with an envious man of thankfulness, nor with an unmerciful man touching kindness, nor with the slothful for any work, nor with an hireling for a year of finishing work, nor with an idle servant of much business. Hearken not unto these in any matter of counsel.
See, it say neither consult with a woman touching her of whom she is jealous. You see, meaning you can't really talk about a woman that's jealous of this other woman when you find out, wow, she's jealous of her, you gotta leave that alone. Neither was a coward in matters of war. You hear that? You out there with a coward, matters of war, what are you gonna do? Run? Or he ain't gonna fight. When it's time to fight, he ain't gonna fight because you're a coward.
You're gonna run.
Nor with the and selling. He says it's kind of like opposite of what it is, contrary to what it's saying, the merchants and the seller. Nor with an envious man of thankfulness. Because the envious man not gonna be thankful, like I said previously. You know, he's not gonna be so quick to say thank you. You help him, he's gonna be like, wow, you didn't even say thank you. And brothers are like that, you know? Don't nobody owe you nothing. If somebody is kind enough to do something for you, have the courtesy to say the water or thank you. But you don't know, so we be envious and they smile down and profile all day long, but they still have that envious heart, you know, envious mind. When you're looking for thank you and they don't give it to you, they don't say nothing. That's sad, but it's real. Go ahead. Let me say, let me continue. No, with the unmerciful man, a man that don't have any mercy on his brother, because he's talking about us as the Israelites. Because we the ones got to read this book to learn how to be, to learn the proper behavior. Everybody else know how to they know how to come together and be together. We don't know that. We don't know how to do that. We've been programmed through the Willie Lynch, the religious instruction to the Negroes, United States of America, Stockholm Syndrome, and all the curses that we can read from Deuteronomy 28:15 to 68 that befall us as a people, and all the things that's working against us from the Most High. That's what we want. Everything is working against us. And that's real, y'all. Everything is working against us to keep us from the Most High. That He wants to shine His face toward us because we're not doing what He tells us to do. And their whole objective is to keep you from the Most High. So the majority of the time, you offended Him. You don't even think about it because there's so much. This world is so. When you think about yourself more than you do Him, His name is jealous. Understand this. It's very important to see this, y'all. That's why I say, Noah for the slothful for any work. Those that's lazy for you to do any kind of work. Noah for howling for a year of finishing work. You know, they're not gonna do it. Always come with an excuse. You go ahead and do it, man. They see somebody doing something, as long as you're doing it, they'll let you do it. Like right now, you know, people can look at, okay, well, have you done enough to make it to the kingdom? Well, yo, when the book's open, where you at? You know, how many hours you put into this? Oh, you gave that many hours to go to school. You gave that many hours on your job. Oh, matter of fact, you work when you was going to school. You still had a job when you was going to school. How much time do you give to Most High to really learn about Him? How much time do you give a Mashiach Yahushua to really learn about Him? That's in the volume of the book. He come back and say, okay, the book's open, now show me. That's the judgment. That's our judgment. Okay, well, that's what I say. Oh, many gonna say, Mashiach. We cast out devils in that name. There are many wonders in that name. Miracles in that name. Because in the me that work iniquity, I never knew you. Iniquity is this world, man. You caught up in this world. Where your sacrifice at? Where your works at? That you really gonna say, okay, I kept the commandments. You know, I did this, I did that, I did this, whatever. That's all of us, including me. I always feel like I've never done enough. Well, I can continue to do what I'm doing. Got to look at it. Where your work's at tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day, the next day, the next day. Or you're just doing something for yourself. You just like really, you ain't no different than Christian insanity people. This ain't about me, you. It's about us. It's about us. What can you do for someone else? Where your work's at to bring somebody else to the Most High. Bring somebody else to a Mashiach Yahushua. Bring somebody else to the fact that we, the Israelites, and the other nations, are supposed to learn what we teaching. In the last days, what if it's all over? You don't have anyone to look at. You don't have no teachers. You just got to have whatever you have this day. That's it. And that could be if you know, Most High brought to Zion, He won't, but could be your last day on this earth. Then it's gonna be like, hey, this is what I did. There ain't no more works after that. You ever thought about that? That's it, man. That's what He's telling you, man. Being lazy, you can't be lazy in this, man. You gotta be vibrant. You gotta put that work in. You gotta put the time in. I say you should go over the laws over and over again. Look for Mashiach Yahushua, the volume of the book. And first and foremost, honor the Most High, praise the Most High, all praise to the Most High. And look at all the ways that you cannot offend Him. Said, nor with an idle servant of much business. See, you can't, somebody that's lazy, that's idle, you can't be trying to get them to do a whole lot for you. They idle. They want to be just chill. They chilling, you know, getting high or whatever they do. You know, drinking, just kick back, playing video games. 50, 11 years old, still playing video games. They ain't really doing no work with the Most High. That's what He talking about. Hearken not unto these in any matter of counsel. You know that? Other words, don't let them tell you a dang thing. Don't let them tell you nothing. Verse 12. Y'all better hear what he's saying. Read.
Khan. Ecclesiasticus chapter 37 and verse 12. But be continually with a righteous man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Most High, whose mind is according to thy mind, and will sorrow with thee if thou shalt miscarry.
You know? You say, continually be with a righteous man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Most High. That's key right there. But a lot of y'all go with those that you know they ain't keeping no commandments of the Most High. You know they eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, catfish, everything to defile their bodies, and they more important than the man of the Most High or the men of the Most High. That's what I say, but be ye continually with the righteous man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Most High, whose mind is according to your mind. So you got to be keeping the commandments of the Most High to be with a righteous man. And I will, and will sorrow with you. When there are things that's going bad, they're going to feel for you. You know, if you have mishap or whatever, you know, that's why you got to know this. That's why it's very important to know this. Go to Ecclesiasticus chapter. Read read verse 17 first.
Ecclesiasticus what?
7 and 17.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 7 and verse 17. Humble thyself greatly, for the vengeance of the Most High, for the vengeance of the unrighteous is fire and worms.
Right, man. It say, humble thyself greatly. You know, you got to humble yourself greatly. If you prideful, you got to work on this because you're not going to the kingdom. You're just wasting your time. He said, humble yourself greatly. For the vengeance of the Most High, the unrighteous from the Most High is fire and worms, man. And it talks about, my Shai said that it's going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Where their worms never die and the fires never quench. He said that, and that's the last thing Isaiah left us with, you know. Look at Isaiah 56 and start at verse around 20. That's what he left us in the kingdom. It's in the kingdom, y'all. You tell me it ain't important. Any of y'all think it's not important? It's in the kingdom. Isaiah 66, start at verse 22.
You said Isaiah 56?
56 and 22.
Okay, 66.
Just the kingdom. It's in the kingdom. Listen.
Isaiah 66 and verse 22. For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, saith the Most High, so shall your seed and your name remain. Keep going.
Go ahead.
Verse 23. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Most High.
Yeah. He said, this kingdom, you got new heavens, new earth, which the Most High gonna make. He said, our seed, our name gonna remain. So it will come to pass in the kingdom from one new moon or new month first day of the month, in the kingdom, to another, and one Sabbath day, all the holy days are Sabbath days, plus the Sabbath day, weekly Sabbath, to another, shall all flesh come to worship before the Most High, right? And once we finish, we're going to see this. Read.
Verse 24. And they
Verse
shall
20.
go. I'm sorry, what was that, Zaquan? Dang, this thing is bugging out. What was that, Zaquan? Can you hear me?
The 66th chapter, verse 24.
Come.
Isaiah 66th chapter, verse 24. Where you was at?
Come. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the
You just
men.
24.
Yeah, I'm reading Isaiah. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 66, verse 24. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me, for their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be an abhorring unto all flesh.
He telling you, man, you got to look upon the carcasses of the men that are transgressed against the Most High. For their worm shall not die, like we read in the Apocrypha, man. Neither shall their fire be quenched, be burning. Worms eating them up, and fire is not going to be quenched. Those that have sinned against the Most High. You think it's not important? Y'all listen to these folks up being preachers if y'all want to. And they shall be an abhorring of, a hating unto all flesh. That's why you have to notice. Go to Ecclesiasticus 12 and 1, start at verse 1. Because we're looking at not being envious of anyone and doing the right things to be able to please the Most High from what it is that we can learn from what the scripture says. Read this.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12 and verse 1. When thou wilt do good, know to whom thou doest it, so shalt thou be thanked for thy benefits.
So I said, when you do good, say no to whom you do it to. So shall I be thanked for thy benefits. I remember the envious man is not thankful. You waiting for a thanks, you're not gonna get it from an envious man. You know, they have something inside of them that they envy. No matter how it looks, the scripture gonna reveal exactly the spirit that they rolling with. Read.
Verse 2. Do good to the righteous man, and thou shalt find a recompense. And if not from him, yet from the Most High.
They do good to a righteous man, a man that's keeping the commandments of the Most High, and thou shalt find a recompense. You're gonna get a reward. It said, if not for him, he can't reward you. You say, yet for the Most High. And be surprised how many people don't realize how this works in their favor. You know, they're actually giving to the unrighteous and wanting the blessing for the Most High. Well, you give it to the righteous. That's why you gotta be, you can't be conformed to this world. All this fits in, man. And you give it to this envious man, this wicked man, definitely tipping them, doing all kind of things, giving it to these wicked people, doing the things that, and don't give nothing to the righteous man. It says, do good to the righteous man, and thou shalt find a recompense, a reward, or prove the Most High wrong. And if not from him, yet from the Most High. Hear that? Read.
Come. There can no good come to him that is always occupied in evil, nor to him
There
that
could
giveth.
occupied in evil, man. Meaning not thinking about the Most High's laws, statutes, commandments, following them, doing them in his life, but he's dealing with evil. The mind is contrary to what the moral laws, the civil laws, the dietary laws, the ceremonial laws tells us we're supposed to be following. Be contrary to the rules and regulations of the Most High. Why he said, there can no good come to him that is always occupied in evil, nor to him that giveth no alms either. Alms is, it takes away a multitude of sins. It tells you, read.
Come. Give to the righteous man and help not a sinner.
It said, give to the righteous man and help not a sinner. But some people, they helping the sinner, knowing that they don't keep the commandments of the Most High and expect the blessings for helping the sinner. He didn't say that, did it? That's contrary to what he's telling you. Read.
Come. Verse 5. Do well unto him that is lowly, but give not to the unrighteous. Hold back thy bread, and give it not unto him, lest he overmaster thee thereby. For else thou shalt receive twice as much evil for all the good thou shalt have done unto him.
Wow. He said, do well unto him that is lowly. He's humble. Lowly means he's humble. But give not to the unrighteous. I'm telling you, it's commandments. This ain't something you can think about. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. You don't give to the unrighteous. Hold back thy bread. The bread is your money. And give it not unto him, lest he over play you. I don't use that word master because they put it in there. Still go back to baal. He overplay you thereby, or else thou shalt receive twice as much evil. What's I tell you the judgment right here? You're gonna receive twice as much evil for the good thou shalt have done unto him. I'm telling you, man. Verse 7.
Verse 7. Give unto the good and help not the sinner.
Right, give unto the good. What's good? Who's good? Well, Romans 7 and 12. Same as before. Commandment is holy. The law is holy and just and good. It's still the same answers over and over again. Give to the righteous. Give to the good. Those that are keeping the commandments of the Most High. At least bringing forth this truth, man. Let's look at Proverbs 49. Psalms 49.
Hey, you cut
Psalm
up,
49.
Zaquan. Psalms 49.
16. Psalm 49
Yeah,
and
you
16.
breaking up bad, Zaquan.
16. Really?
Yeah. Psalms 49 or 149?
I know yo
Dang.
just turning around. Psalms 49, 16. You hear me?
Yeah, you said Psalms chapter 49, verse 16. Yay or nay?
Con.
Okay. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 49 and verse 16. Be not thou afraid when one is made rich, when the glory of his house is increased.
He said, be not thou afraid, fearing a man when he is made rich, he said, when the glory of his house is increased. You know, it's going to, you know, you afraid that he's going to be able to do something to you because you envy him. To bring about envy. Go ahead. Listen.
God. For when he dieth, he shall carry nothing away. His glory shall not descend after him.
Mm-hmm. This house increased. He got all this. He showed forth all this money and what money has brought him. He said, but when he died, he shall carry nothing away with him. All the glory that he had in this kingdom, this wicked kingdom, shall not descend with him. You see that? We supposed to be going up. Say he's going down. Right there. Go ahead.
Though while he lived, he blessed his soul, and men will praise thee when thou doest well to thyself.
It says, though while he lived, he blessed his soul, you know, living large. Had anything he could think of to buy and do, he do it. And men will praise thee. They praise the one that have something. They look up to, like I said, like we just read, they think, you know, money is righteousness. But when he died, he said, hey, when he lived, men praise him, right? When thou doest well to thyself, you don't just sin when he died. You can't take nothing with him. While he living, everybody praising him. When he died, came in the earth naked, leave the earth naked. He got nothing to show for nothing. Go ahead. 19.
Come. Verse 19. He shall go to the generation of his fathers. They shall never see the light. They shall never see light.
Mm-hmm. He shall go to the generation of his fathers. They shall never see light. You see that? So what are they going to see? Darkness, ignorance, not knowing. That hellfire, the worms, and that fire that's never quenched. Because what's that light? Proverbs 6:23. That's why it's another statement to show you that all this is not going to be saved too. Because what's the light? If they never see light, what's the light? Proverbs 6:23.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 6 and verse 23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproof of instruction are the way of life. Bars.
See? You're not going to see the light, right? He going to the generation of his fathers. them that didn't follow the commandments of the Most High that y'all think supposed to be, covenant to the kingdom and everything, gonna be right there, no good and well, as wicked as ever. They ain't learn, live, apply no laws, point blank in their life. And when you look at this, I want you to go to Revelations, and let's go to the kingdom again. Go to Revelation 21, and even verse 24, because it said, "Hey, he going to his generation with his faith. They didn't have no life when they lived. They just lived up their money. They weren't keeping no commandments, doing what this word is saying supposed to be doing. It's real important because Most High reign on the just and the unjust, but the unjust can have the judgment of being thrown in the lake of fire when them books is open. The fire's never quenched. We got to look at that in the kingdom. Most High righteous I will if we be there. Look at those that sin against the Most High, whatever say their bodies. The worm's never gonna die and the fire's never quenched. That's the last thing I did leave us with. Very last verse he left us with. It's the fact that once we have a good time with the new moons and new months, and the Sabbath, holy days, and we gotta look at the dead bodies, man, the dead carcasses, man. You know what that's gonna do? Keep us in mind. Make sure you end up being there. Come back to a new moon, and we gonna be in order. Or you're gonna see people, think about it, you see people, you come to the feast, and you see people in that fire that you know, wow, I think that would straighten us really fast. Straight up real fast. Straight up real fast. I think. What do you think? You tell me, you look at your partner over there burning up, or whoever, your child or your friend, your associate, burning, it is because it say fire's never quenched. It ain't gonna be like they just burn it up and that's it. No. Burn up, flesh come back on, burn up, eat you up over and over and over again, man. Just like the Most High got a body, a spiritual body, but whether on the right side or the left side, you got a body for that particular prophecy that we heard about in the kingdom. That should be enough to make you afraid. Read this.
The book of Revelations, chapter 21 and verse 24. And the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it. And the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor into it.
See? And the nation of these other nations outside of the 12 tribes of Israel that's going to be saved to be in the kingdom, they're going to walk in the light of it. We know what that light is. We just read that light. The law is light. The commandments is light. So the nation's going to walk in the commandments of the Most High, or they're going to be burning. They're going to be burning, and them worms going to be eating them up. The men that have transgressed against the Most High in the kingdom, we're going to see them, their carcasses, dead bodies, right there. We just read that. We right there. The nation's going to walk in the laws of the Most High. Read on.
Come. And the gates of it shall not be shut at all by day, for there shall be no night there.
See? The gates going to be open all day long. Right? Ain't going to be no darkness there. Go ahead.
And they shall bring the glory and honor of the nations into it. And there shall
See?
in no wise.
That's their wealth. in the kingdom. They're gonna bring all the glory and honor of the nations into the kingdom, yo. They're gonna bring it right up to the gate, and each tribe, between Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar, those 12 gates, you got one angel on each gate, and they're gonna bring it right up to the gates of the tribes, those 12 tribes, and they will come out and gather the riches and the wealth, just like the IRS. We're gonna be the new treasury forever and ever and ever, though. You see, and bring it into the gates because he tell you they can't come in the gates. Verse 27.
Come. And there shall in no wise enter into it anything that defileth, neither whatsoever worketh abomination, or maketh a lie, but they which are written in the Lamb's book of life.
Right, man. There shall in no wise enter into it. That's why it's very important in the New Testament that you see this because, people will just listen to somebody talk and not realize that we do have to do what the Most High tell us to do. And that's his rules and regulations, his laws, statutes, commandments. Because here it is. He said, if the nation's going to walk by the laws of the Most High, the commandments of the Most High, ain't going to be no mercy and grace, though. That's why he said, going to see them dead bodies that you transgress the laws of the Most High in the kingdom, you dead. That's what we just read, didn't we? Those that trespass against the Most High's laws and commandments, we're going to see them where the fires never quench and the worms never die. Ain't nobody enter into it anything that defileth, neither whatsoever work of abomination or maketh a lie, but they which are written in the Lamb's book of life. Straight up. That's it. If you're not written in the Lamb's book of life, you're going to be cast to the lake of fire. Revelation 20 and 15. Read that. Simple as that. That's what this is all about for us. As a people, we should want our names to be written in the book of life. Or you can read it.
The book of Revelations, chapter 20, verse 15. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire.
There it is. So if your name not written in the book of life, you ain't going to the gates. If your name not written in the book of life, you're going to be what?
Cast into the lake of fire.
Cast into the lake of fire. Simple as that. You don't think it's important that our name be written in the book of life?
Nope.
We got to learn certain things, though, because we got to, like I said, this whole thing is about changing. Proverbs 3:31.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 31.
Proverbs.
Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
Say, envy thou not the oppressor. You don't be envious of him. You say, and choose none of his ways. That's what Most High told us in Jeremiah 10:1 and 2. He say, envy, don't be envying the oppressor. He said, choose none of his ways. How you going to follow somebody that the Most High telling you, don't envy him? And he tell you, don't choose none of his ways. That's why he told us this. Read that. Jeremiah 10:1 and 2. Verse 1 and verse 2. Jeremiah 10, verse 1 and 2. You're muted.
I didn't even do that. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 1 and verse 2. Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 1.
1.
Hear ye the word which the Most High speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Most High, learn not the way of the heathen.
Thus said the Most High to the Israelites, to we the Israelites. He said, learn not the way of the heathen. Right? That's all I wanted. And it's telling us. Proverbs 3:31. In him. That's why I say, and choose none of his ways. But see, you have those that just what we have done. Let me show you something. Go to First Maccabees 1 and 11. Hear what the Most High told us. He always told us tore their bodies to pieces. Look what happened in the Greek Empire. When the so-called white man first came into power, this is what we did. That's the Israelites. Let's read it.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
See that?
We have had much sorrow.
Hear that? Most High told us. Most High told us, learn not the ways of the heathen. Here we are in the Greek Empire, wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant agreement, a contract with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow, right? Read. Look what they did.
So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen.
Clearer than that. That's all the way contrary to the Most High's word. When he said, learn not to wear the heathens like it is today. All these Christmas sanity religions and so forth that's been set up for us to follow. But the king gave him a license to sin. So we wouldn't be able to, that was, on the right path, wouldn't be able to deal with them. This whole objective was to keep us from our laws. So keeping us from the laws, who wrote the laws, the Most High, is to keep us from following the Most High, doing what he say do. They figured out these curses are going to remain on us forever. And he's never going to face us with the love and the kindness and the joy and the happiness that we deserve and trying to be righteous from what the wicked is doing. But he got another trick bag for him. Better believe this. Go ahead.
Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen.
You see all these gems and all that stuff is a custom of the heathens, man. Understand this, man. But what we do now, that's normal. Going up in these heathen places, man, that they set up for us to be like them. Look what they did. We didn't do this.
Yeah, they have a
under wicked king after. They built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathens. He said, learn not the way of the heathens. You know? That's why he ran me out of the gym. I tried it years and years ago. I tried to go up in the gym. Most of they ran me out of them gyms, man. And I have free membership and all that. I'm dealing with that. Now you're gonna say you go up in there, and he said, learn not to wear the heathen. He just said that's the custom of the heathen. Just keep in mind what you see in here. And after that, what they do. Read on.
Verse 15. And made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief.
Made themselves uncircumcised, man. You know, circumcision is you learn the truth. You learn the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, you know. And some say they actually, you know, made themselves uncircumcised with the flesh too. I haven't seen that, but some have said, you know, don't quote me on that one, but I know that uncircumcised is stopping from, you know, keeping the commandments and the laws of the Most High. This is what we did in the Greek Empire, while the Most High was, you know, very, very wroth with us and, you know, brought us into captivity and allowed the things that went down to happen to us, man. Because we were so forward herein that we went to the king, this wicked king, for him to give us a license to sin against the Most High. That's what y'all got to see. Everything is against the Most High. But y'all don't think about it enough to realize that all the things that they're doing is to have you sin or be against him. Now let's go to Babylonian 4.
Jeremiah 44 and what?
Start at verse 9. It's crazy, man.
Okay.
The whole chapter is crazy. I mean, it's like it's the same thing, except for another period of captivity that we were in the Babylonian Empire. Read this.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 44, verse 9. Have you forgotten the wickedness of your fathers?
This is before the Greek Empire. Now we're in the Babylonian Empire. Will be before the Persian and Mede Empire, because the Greeks took down the Persian and Mede. But when you read the Bible, we may be in captivity after we'll say King Solomon. You know, you have King Saul, King David, and then King captivity. When you're reading the Bible, we're in captivity here. And this is what we did. While the Most High, you know, we come back to him, to his law, put us in captivity. So let's read.
Jeremiah 44 and 9. Have ye forgotten the wickedness of your fathers, and the wickedness of the kings of Judah, and the wickedness of their wives, and your own wickedness, and the wickedness of your wives, which they have committed in the land of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem?
You notice he said, the wicked of your wives twice within one verse. To remind you of that. I mean, the wickedness of the kings, our forefathers, kings, our wives, and our own wickedness, and the wickedness of your wives again, which they have committed in the land of Judah. the southern kingdom, in the streets of Jerusalem. Go ahead. Read on.
Con. They are not humble even unto this day, neither have they feared, nor walked in my law, nor in my statutes, that I set before you and before your fathers. Mm.
They are not humble. They are not humble. So if we not humble, what were we? Prideful, man. That's where all this comes from, man. Envy, pride, hatred, all this coming together, man. They are not humble, even until this day, the Most High said, neither have they feared. You gotta fear the Most High. Point blank, you gotta be afraid and scared of the Most High. It says, nor walk in my law. You see that? Y'all need to underline walked in my law. They need to underline so y'all understand that, because y'all be thinking that it's our law. This the Most High saying we didn't walk in his law. He said that my law is the Most High's law. No, in my statutes. That's my statute. That's the Most High statute that I set before you and before your fathers. To this day, he said. Read.
Con. Therefore, thus saith the Most High of hosts, the power of Israel, behold, I will set my face against you for evil, and to cut off all Judah. And I will take the remnant of Judah
Go ahead.
that he had. Salat, keep going.
Go ahead.
Con. And I will take the remnant of Judah that have set their faces to go into the land of Egypt to sojourn there, and they shall all be consumed and fall in the land of Egypt. Mm. They shall even be consumed by the sword and by the famine. They shall die from the least even unto the greatest, by the sword and by the famine. And they shall be an exertion and an astonishment and a curse and a reproach. Mm. Can we
See that?
Okay.
The Most High said, we walk in his laws. The Most High power army of angels, the power of Israel. He said he set his face against us for evil. He cut us off from the land of Judah, southern kingdom. He said we're going to be consumed by the sword, by the famine, food shortages, and shall die, from the least even to the greatest, by the sword and by the famine. And they shall be an oath to the Most High, an astonishment and a curse and a disgrace. That's what reproach is. Read.
Con. For I will punish them that dwell in the land of Egypt, as I have punished Jerusalem, by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence.
See that? That's the Most High telling you that punishment, that judgment, man. We want to run to the land of Egypt. And America is the land of Egypt right now, spiritual Egypt and spiritual Sodom. And a lot of people, they're going to run to Egypt to sojourn here, still want to be here when them ships come, man. You're going to deal with them. Talk about what he going to do. He said he going to punish those that run to Egypt, or he punish those that were in Jerusalem. You know, Egypt, we can walk into Egypt from Jerusalem. We ran to Egypt all the time, you know. Think you're going to get something out of there. Most of what the Most High said he going to give us. That's why he said he's going to kill them by the sword and by the famine, food shortages, and by the pestilence, diseases. Now people got all kinds of diseases now. Got this new flesh-eating disease. It says, go out in the ocean, you get it. You got all kinds of diseases, man. They said something like a deadly ringworm. Real powerful right now. That's the pestilence, diseases, and so forth. Verse 14. It's us, man. That's why you can't be, you know, envious of these wicked people, man. People are envious of these people that's doing this, that then made pacts with the system, this big beast that's operating right now. Same is no different than what we was doing back here, Reed.
So that none of the remnant of Judah, which are gone into the land of Egypt to sojourn there, shall escape or remain, that they should return into the land of Judah, to the which they have a desire to return to dwell there. For none shall return, but such as shall escape. So I'm going to happen. I heard that. Keep going.
The land should go back, except for those that escape, that you know, from the sword and the famine and the pestilence. Go ahead.
Verse 15. Then all the men which knew that their wives had burned incense unto other powers, and all the women that stood by, a great multitude, even all the people that dwell in the land of Egypt, in Pathros, answered Jeremiah, saying,
Listen at this. All the men, they knew that their wives burned incense to other gods, to other idols. You see? And all the women that stood by, it's a great multitude of them. Even Egypt, in Patros, answered Jeremiah, saying, look what they told Jeremiah. They told Jeremiah, read.
Verse 16. As for the word that thou hast spoken unto us in the name of the Most High, we will not hearken unto thee. Dang.
Hear that? He said, after the word that you speaking to us in the name of right there, he said, we will not listen to you. We ain't gonna listen to you. Read.
Dang. But we will certainly do whatsoever thing goeth forth out of our own mouth to burn incense unto the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto her, as we have done, we and our fathers, our kings, and our princes, in the cities of Judah, and in the streets of Jerusalem. For then had we plenty of victuals, and were well, and saw no evil.
This is before the Greek Empire. Sound familiar? Sound just like the brothers said when they went to the king. They were talking to each other, trying to convince Israelites, like we just read in 1 Maccabees 1 and 11. Since we stopped following the heathen, we have had much sorrow, right? Same thing, right here. But then have we plenty of victuals and were well and saw no evil, right? That's what did they say? They say we ain't gonna follow the Most High word. We listen to the Most High, but we will certainly do it whatsoever thing going forth out of our own mouth. Now burn incense unto the Queen of Heaven. Come on. How disrespectful is that? Just because Jeremiah is the prophet, he's a messenger for the Most High. And our people are telling Jeremiah, we're going to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven. We're going to pour out drink offerings to the Queen of Heaven under her. As we have done, we and our fathers, our kings and our princes in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem. But then had we plenty of victuals and were well and saw no evil. Think about that. That's why the Most High is long suffering, y'all. Just because the judgment don't come expedient, fast, and in a hurry, remember the Most High is long suffering, but he got something for him. Ain't nobody get away with nothing. Read.
Con. But since we
Verse
left,
18.
Con, verse 18. But since we left off to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven and to pour out drink offerings unto her, we have wanted all things and have been consumed by the sword and by the famine.
Look, they saying, hey, since we stopped burning incense to the Queen of Heaven and to pour out drink offering to her, we have wanted all things and have been consumed by the sword and by the famine. Most I say he's gonna do that to us. He already, how many times he said that? He said it over and over again, right? He's gonna destroy you by the sword and the famine. That's what the Most I say he's gonna do. So they think burning incense to the Queen of Heaven is gonna stop the sword and the famine from happening. Hold that. Get Jeremiah 9:25.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 9 and verse 25. But let him that glorieth glory in this, that he
Jeremiah
understandeth.
9. Jeremiah 9th chapter, verse 25.
Con, Salah. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 9 and verse 25. Behold, the days come, saith the Most High, that I will punish all them which are circumcised with the uncircumcised.
So he said the day's gonna come. The Most High said that he's gonna punish all them. This is before we getting way to Jeremiah 44th chapter. We in the 9th chapter. He said, hey, this period of time, he's warning them. The day's gonna come that I will punish all them which are circumcised with the uncircumcised. Join on with these that are not keeping the Most High. The uncircumcised are those that do keep the commandments of the Most High. He said, going to punish all them which are circumcised with the uncircumcised. Read.
Egypt and Judah and Edom and the children of Ammon and Moab and all that are in the utmost corners that dwell in the wilderness. For all these nations are uncircumcised, and all the house of Israel are uncircumcised in the heart.
You know, you name a nation. They say Egypt, the Hamites, Judah, who we reading about in Jeremiah 44, Edom, so-called white man, white people, children of Ammon, so-called, or these indigenous, Japanese, and Moab, the Chinese, and all that are in the utmost corners, man, that dwell in the wilderness. Say, for all these nations are uncircumcised. And all the house, all is a certain number, mind you. All the house of Israel are uncircumcised in their minds, he said. Look at Second Maccabees 4:15 in the Apocrypha. See, this is our problem. It ain't just started because you see what's happening right now with us. Bing, bing, bing. A lot of them left. Second Maccabees 4:15.
Khan. This is the book of Second Maccabees, chapter 4, verse 15. Not setting by the honors of their fathers, but liking the glory of the Grecians best of all. Keep reading.
Mm-hmm.
By reason whereof,
Not setting by the honors of our forefathers, you see, but liking the glory of the Grecians best of all. That's what we did. So you envy something, you want to be like it, wouldn't you? You envy how they have the lifestyle they have, so therefore you want to be like it. So that's what we did until this day, man. Don't.
Khan. By reason whereof, sore calamity came upon them, for they had them to be their enemies and avengers, whose customs they followed so earnestly, and unto whom they desired to be like in all things.
By reason of sore calamities came upon us. We the Israelites. That them was the Israelites. But they had them to be their enemies. They were not friends. We would be like them, but they became our enemies. Our enemies. And avengers, whose custom they follow so earnestly. Hear that? The customs of the Greeks, the custom of the heathen. We follow so earnestly in all things. Hear that? We supposed to be the light, just like it is now. Our people following them, these other nations. They the leaders. We supposed to be the lead in everyone and teacher. But we desire to be like them in all things, it says. Think about that. They were doing some crazy things when you read about the Romans and the Greeks, man. You know, they were doing a whole lot of things that the Most High say is so terrible. We're not supposed to be talking about it. Read on, verse 17.
Verse 17, for it is not a light thing to do wickedly against the laws of the Most High, but the time following shall declare these things.
Right. He says, not a light thing for us to be so wicked, man, against the laws of the Most High. It's cold. Said a time to come, gonna declare it. When he bring that judgment, that's what we talk about. When he bring that judgment. I want you to get Proverbs 23:17. See, we envy the oppressor, and we want to be like the oppressor in every way, shape, or form. That's why strange calamities came upon us. That's what's going to happen with those of them when you don't have to be, going to catch it. Read that.
Con. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 17. Let not thine heart envy sinners, but be thou in the fear of the Most High all the day long.
Where you at?
Proverbs chapter 23, verse 17.
Huh? Read it.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 17. Let not thine heart envy sinners, but be thou in the fear of the Most High all the day long.
You say, let not your heart, which is your mind, envy sinners. You say, don't let your mind envy sinners. And we know sinners are the ones that are operating contrary to the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High, man. The laws, the commandments of the Most High. Sin in 1 John 3 and 4 is what? Read that. 1 John 3 and 4.
This is the book of 1 John, chapter 3, verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law.
Well, I said we had a scoffer in here. He would ignore us, so I guess he left.
Yeah, I didn't know what he meant. I mean, it's kind of hard not to understand what we're saying, so I didn't even pay attention to him. Or it sounded like
For the heathen.
Mhm.
It ain't for the heathen. You know what I mean?
Oh, yep, he's scoffing.
It ain't for them. Straight
That's
up.
read the topic, pay
That's why.
attention.
See that?
A forward man in his thoughts.
Here's what it is. That's why this is not for everybody. You what it says? So what is sin?
The transgression of the law. For sin is the transgression
John
of the
3 and
law.
4. Sin is the
1 John
law.
chapter 3,
That the
verse
Most High
4.
wrote with his finger, y'all.
Okay.
Verse 23:17 that says, let not thine heart, which is the way you think, your mind, envy sinners. You know? Why should you be desirous and really feel some kind of way against those that's breaking the laws of the Most High? But be thou in the fear of the Most High all the day long. Verse 18, Proverbs 23 and 18.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 23 and verse 18. For surely there is an end, and thine expectation shall not be cut off.
You know? For surely there is an end, and thine expectation shall not be cut off. If you don't do the things that are contrary to what the Most High is telling us to do. That's why you can see it sound like quack, 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 quack to the heathen, or those that are not in the spirit. Not for everybody.
Continue reading.
Huh.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 19. Hear thou, my son, and be wise, and
No,
guide thine heart in the way.
24 and 1.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Proverbs 24 and 1.
Okay.
Proverbs 24 and 1.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 1. Be not thou envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them.
Right. He said, hey, be thou not envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them. Read.
For their heart studieth destruction, and their lips talk of mischief.
So it's kind of like, you know, when you look at it, it's like you wonder why you kind of like be separate. Because most of the people in the world, man, they evil. And what he means by that is they're not righteous. They're not trying to know what to do that's right. The moral laws, the civil laws, the dietary laws, similar laws. And it's like, well, like I know somebody asked me, I want to know the truth. So I gave them the card, I gave them, talked to them a little while. They don't even speak to me. It was cool. Once they see this out, I don't even exist no more. It could be empty. Could be the fact that, you know, I know what I know. They're looking at what it is that, you know, they don't speak no more. That's evil. Instead of wanting to know, you push yourself away. You say you really want to know, but then you push yourself away. Hey. We can't be envious of these evil people that you know don't keep the commandments of the Most High. Could be family members. It don't matter. Associate, friends, whoever. You know they don't keep the commandments of the Most High. And don't desire to be with them. He tell you. Because tell you in the end, Isaiah 13:15. Tell you in the end, we're going to come back to Proverbs 24 to show you what they're going to get and what they're dealing with. Are y'all joining to them? Y'all want to join unto them? You see what happened? They telling you straight up, Esau telling you, don't be with us. Telling black people, don't be with us. They saying we don't even be with some of these people that they hanging out with, and we don't even be around them. That's why there's only a certain amount of people that they be around. They tell us, don't hang out with us. End result, Isaiah 13:15.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 13 and verse 15. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword.
You're seeing it right now, man. Nolan Wells. You got a few people that's, you know, pretty little girl that was hung way up in the tree.
Yep.
She hung herself way up in the tree. Come on, man. All they got to do is take them that they make. That we don't know how to make them loose. Them noose that they, you know, how they tie that rope. Wrap it around the top. The experts in that. We don't know how to do that. That show you right there. All them that's joined to them gonna fall by the sword. And all you that's joined to the uncircumcision, you're gonna fall by the sword too. That's why you desire, and you know, you envious against evil men. You say you need a desire to be with them. And they tell you themselves, don't be with us. That's on that side. On our side, verse 24 and 2.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 24
What
and
they
verse
do.
2. For their heart studieth destruction, and their lips talk of mischief. Keep going.
24.
Proverbs 24 and 2, right?
2.
You got a big
Verse 2.
lag. Yeah, you got a big lag. The book of Proverbs, chapter 24 and verse 2. For their heart studieth destruction, and their lips talk of mischief.
What they do, man. Their minds study destruction. Now you want to go to the future when salvation is coming on this earth? Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 7. Their minds study destruction. This is what they're going to say when they see the salvation of the 12 tribes, the remnant of the 12 tribes of Israel. This the elite going to say this. Going to be a remnant of all nations are going to be redeemed, saved for the kingdom, for their position in the kingdom. Read this. What they're going to say.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5 and verse 7. We wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yea, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the way of the Most High, we have not known it.
That's right. You heard that. They wearied themselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yeah, they've gone through deserts where there lay no way. And the Mashiach said, he's the way. That's what they say, for as the way of the Most High, the Mashiach Yahushai, we have not known it. They wear themselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. They study it, destruction. Their lips talk of mischief. That's what they do. It's all here. It's just a matter of, do you believe it or not? Or you just going to still do what we did and follow the way of ignorance and doing the things that's contrary to the way we should be? That's why Ezekiel 35, Ezekiel 35, you can look at verse 5 first. Ezekiel 35 and 5.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
Yeah. He telling us this is pertaining to Edom. When you read verse 1, moreover, the word of the Most High came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it. And that's the land that the Most High gave Esau, the mountain Seir. That's the land he gave them, like they come from the Caucasus Mountains today. So that envy that they have toward their brother Jacob, who then was taken to Israel, became the 12 tribes of Israel, until this day, you can see there, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. That envy turned into hatred. And have shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their calamity or our iniquity had an end. That's why when you read Revelations 12 and 17, That's what it tells you. This is who they coming after.
It's the book of Revelations,
Represent.
chapter 12 and verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which kept the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of Mashiach Yahushua.
So that's us. We the Israelites. We don't want keeping the commandments of the Most High and the true testimony of Mashiach Yahushua. Who else? What church or what religion is keeping the moral laws, the civil laws, the dietary laws, the ceremonial laws, the commandments of the Most High, and learn of the sacrificial laws? Even though we know Mashiach Yahushua was the ultimate sacrifice for the children of Israel. What religion? You can't find it. You can't even bring none for it. Or bring them forth. That their decree is to learn the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High. You're not going to find it there. That's why it tells you they're going to come down upon the remnant. That dragon is the Esau, the Edomites. That's their representation. The woman is the children of Israel. Jeremiah 62 says, I liken the daughter of Zion, who was the Israelites, to a comely and delicate woman, a beautiful and delicate woman, right? Symbolically. So it's telling you here in Ezekiel 35 and 5, they have had a perpetual hatred and have shed the blood of the Israelites in the time that our calamity, our iniquity had an end. That's what you're reading about right there in Revelation 12 and 17, telling you who he's coming down upon. So you already got the 2/3, they're already done, they're already finished. You know, they part of the ones that was in the Babylonian Empire, saying, we're going to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven. They part of the ones in the Greek Empire that would join with the Greeks. They like the Greek fashion more than they did our customs and so forth. Same ones when got a license to sin. You see, we're the same people. We are the ones that are the remnant. If you endure to the end, you know, Most High Ratazawan, Most High will be those that will be the remnant. The Most High have something to say about it. You know, he ain't just being quiet on it. Ezekiel 35. Verse 6.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse 6. Therefore, as I live, saith the Most High Power. Ezekiel 35 and 6, right? It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse 6. Therefore, as I live, saith the Most High, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
He said he gonna prepare. He said, as the Most High live, he living. He said, I will prepare thee the blood, and blood shall pursue them. Since they ain't hated blood, say blood gonna pursue them. Read.
Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out and him that returneth.
Right. He said, gonna make their land most desolate. Go ahead.
And I will fill his mountains with his slain men, and thy hills, and in thy valleys, and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword.
Right, man. It's a lot of judgment that he's bringing upon the last kingdom that's on this earth. If they don't get right with the Most High, read.
I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy city shall not return, and ye shall know that I am the Most High.
He said he's gonna make them a perpetual desolations. And their city's not gonna return, man. I mean, they're gonna be done away forever and ever and ever. Read. Why?
Come. Because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas the Most High was there.
That's over in this Western Hemisphere and over in the land of Israel. Right? Read verse 11. Check it out. Trust and believe this. Read.
Therefore, as I live, saith the Most High Power, I will even do according to thine anger, and according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them. And I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee.
Hear that? He said, therefore, as I live, and the Most High live, y'all. He said the Most High, I will even do according to thine anger. They angry? Most High say, he just a Most High saying what he gonna do. Has nothing to do with us, me or anyone else. This is the Most High saying, you got to deal with the Most High on this. He said, according to thine anger, according to their anger that they had, and according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them. See that envy in us turn to hatred? Because we chose the people of the Most High. You know, we got the flavor. We doing things that, you know, everybody want to be like us. They just don't want to be us this damn time. But it tells you that it's going to come a time when they're going to want, everybody going to want to gather blackness. I'm black. I'm a Negro. They're going to be to the point. They're going to be admitting, you know, somewhere in a lie form that they us. You know what I mean? They got some of us in them, you know? He said, therefore, as I live, said the Most High, he's telling you. According to their anger, which thou hast used out of thy hatred. See, that envy went into hatred. They envied us, and people envy, and it can go to hatred against them. Say, I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. Read. He said, and thou shalt know what? Every time I love it, most I let you know, just in case you want to point the finger at man, you let you know who's saying this. Read.
And thou shalt know that I am the Most High, and that I have heard all thy blasphemies, which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying, they are laid desolate, they are given to us, they are given us to consume.
You see that? You see that? They had envy. They envied us. And that envy went to what? Hate. But they always say we hate him, but most High saying they the ones that envy and hate us, according to what we're reading here. And they shall know that the Most High is doing this. Verse 12, it says, and thou shalt know that I am the Most High, that I have heard all thy blasphemies, which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, the kingdom of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, saying they are laid desolate. They are given us to consume. That's why when you go to Revelation 6. So I say, you heard all they blasphemy. You think you're hearing something. No, you heard nothing yet. But you see what's happening. You see what's happening as far as dealing with how they are running up over there. Do y'all realize more people died from the sun and the heat in America than all these combined? Fire, earthquake, tornado, hurricane, all the disasters like that, you combine them all. it don't even amount up to the amount of people that die from the sun, the heat of the sun. Y'all think about that. Put that in your membrane. That's serious. That's real serious. While that envy, it can turn into hate. And when it turns into hate, be very detrimental to whoever has it. Don't matter who has it. You envy someone, what's I say? It's gonna be detrimental to you. For real, for real. What you gonna do when it come for you? You caught up in it. What you gonna do? What's your method of getting out of it? That's what I want to ask you. I know they're gonna be saying this. Go to Revelations 6. Start at verse 14. That's why you got to come out of that envious spirit, that hatred that you have. You know, I've seen that it was saying that a lot of these Edomites, they're having a problem with their children because they don't want to hate us like they want us to hate us. They don't want to be racist. They got a problem with that. This is judgment. Revelation 6, one of them. Revelation 6 and read verse 14. You can start at 13.
This is Revelation chapter 6, verse 13. And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs, when she is shaken of a mighty wind.
Yeah. Understand overstand this. The stars of heaven. They talking about the stars in the sky. Because they're never gonna stop shining. Go to Ezekiel 42. Let's prove that right quick, just in case somebody think that it's talking about the stars in the sky. Go to Ecclesiasticus 43 and read in the Apocrypha, verse 9.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus,
and 10.
chapter 4. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter
9 and
43,
2.
verse 9. The beauty of heaven, the glory of the stars, and ornament giving light in the highest places of the Most High. At the
That's the
commandment,
stars, right? The beauty of it, glory of the stars, and ornament giving light in the highest places of the Most High, in the sky, right? Go ahead.
At the commandment of the Holy One, they will stand in their order and never faint in their watches.
Right. So let you know that the stars let's talk about here in Revelations, the 6th chapter, is not talking about the stars in the sky. He's talking about celebrities, people of pronoun, high status in this world. He say gonna fall to the earth. They're gonna be flatlined on the earth like a fig tree casts her untimely figs when she is shaken by a mighty wind. Right? That's how it's comparing it. Now, look at what it says, Revelation 6:14.
The book of Revelations, chapter 6 and verse 14. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places.
That's like that scroll you see behind me, man. That's like that nuclear bomb that they dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Just judgment, y'all. The heavens departed as a scroll when it's rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. Read.
Come. And the kings of the earth and the kings of the earth and the great men and the rich men and the chief captains and the mighty men and every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountain.
That's right, man. They got underground cities right now. They can drive semi trucks through, just like you go to a parking lot, underground parking lot, just like that, only huge. Going on, driving underground with all. Say again?
Let me use the bathroom real quick.
They have underground tunnels that they plan on, going to when all these things go down. When the heavens depart like a scroll, they're gonna run to these underground bunkers that they have, where they can have semi trucks. They got cities that they, people living down under the earth right now. It says, and the kings of the earth and the great men and the rich men and the chief captains and the mighty men and every bondman, slave man, and every free man, no matter if they bond, slave, or free, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, right? And they're going to be saying, verse 16, as said to the mountains and the rocks, follow us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. Hide us from the Most High, hide us from the Mashiach Yahushua. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? You hear that? That's why you can't be envious of nobody, man. Be cast into that lake of fire. Come on. Because just like you said, Esau envied us, he became hate. We envy each other, becomes hate. There ain't no haters of their brothers going into the kingdom. Point blank. You a murderer. Straight up. And with that, I'm going to end it right there. And give a like to the video. Appreciate it. All you that's coming in. And if you come in late, you can start at MV number 1 all the way to 4 right now. And we got to continue. I still got more to go when I show you how it applied to us in the Bible. Straight up. And with that, I'm going to say, Krum Most High, Krum Mashiach Yahushai, and Krum Yasharallah. We out. The water, Officer Marachat, and everybody else joining me. We'll be on tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Pacific Time, 2:30 Mountain Time, 3:30 Central Time, and 4:30 Eastern Standard Time, p.m. Same channel, same station, same YouTube channel, whichever one or wherever you was on. Come back tomorrow. Join us, or we be today if you're on the East Coast. It's already East Coast time. So with that, I say Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, and I'm out. Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.